Good evening, my viewers again, and thank you and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Riri Charlie World. So today is feeding time, and actually, as you can see right now, it's also almost 6 in the evening, and I'm supposed to be feeding it as the last time that I'm feeding it because at night I just want them to be moving in and out of the pond just to build their muscles and to make sure that they move after eating so they can be able to have the food digested in the stomach. Now, why do I have this cup over here? So number one, I told you water quality is very important. Number two, feeds. Number three, that water and food management is a must. So looking at what I have here is 1,000 catfish, and I can tell you, uh, after restocking, they've really grown up very fast simply because feeding time is on time, water quality is on time, and as well the management observation. Again, I said observation on your fish pond is very vital. You need to keep on checking where are they not feeding, why are they feeding, and what are they feeding. So someone would ask me why I chose and what type of feeds do I use. Actually, I feed them on skretting. Skretting is imported food actually. You have local omena that you can grind, make sure that you can feed it. But at the moment, what I have here is there's actually fingerlings that are turning to be juveniles in a few weeks, and they cannot be able to absorb anything more than 0.7 millimeters of food. What is 0.7 millimeters of food? So it's actually in particles, very small particles. I can show you using my hand. Uh, this is what I'm serving. Uh, in the next 2 weeks, they'll have graduated to juveniles, whereby I'll be feeding them to 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter is slightly bigger. The granules are bigger, and actually they are easy to feed on big fish, which are of size, a bigger size of what I have over here. So without wasting more time, this is how I feed. This is my daily routine. When I wake up in the morning, I start at 6 in the morning, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 6 p.m. But for some reasons, when you see the weather is not warm, you're gonna be wasting your food if you feed that time. So what you normally do, you make sure that when you see the weather is warm, that's the time the fish likes coming out to have their meal. So without waiting a lot of time, as you can see, they're here already, and they're actually jumping up for the food. And this is actually my fishing point. So my feeding point, whereby I feed them with this cretin, and someone would ask me how much grams or how many grams do I feed this feed. So people only say that if you look at the books, it's 150 grams for 1,000 catfish, which I also still think you need to observe your fish. You could easily pour 150 grams here and it goes to waste. So what I did, I measured the 150 grams. When I came to feed them, I gave them the much I gave them. They couldn't finish even 50 grams. So I chose to feed them more times until they are okay with the food. So if you can see right now, the feed is actually done. So it means they are actually starving. They need some more. So you don't actually overfeed fish in your pond because more of the food you put to waste, it goes down and becomes ammonia. And ammonia is actually very poisonous when it's on higher levels. So please make sure you feed your fish accordingly with the current or the correct quantity of feeds, such a way that you make sure that they have their feeds, and you also save something from your side, but not compromising on the quality and actually even the quality and the size of the fish when you are going to be harvesting. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. For more content, please subscribe so that I can be able to provide you more content and more advice on how to feed them, because key is essential key to know what you feed them, what time and where and when. So we've learned from other people. I'm more than glad also to advise you on how this works, because as you can see, this is 1,000 catfish. So rate of mortality, you'll find some of them have died. You need to find what's the cause of the death, the mortality. So once you find out, you start eliminating. Is it water? Is it the feeds? Or is it how you're handling them? So if you look at it, I keep on doing this daily. I come to the fish pond, I observe. I remove it immediately. So having said that, we need to go to the second pond, pond number 1, and see about also the feeding program. Then we'll come back to pond number 2. Whereby we can be able like to start feeding as well before it gets dark. As you can see, I got some light, and then this is how I call this fish from this pond, because they don't respond. They take their sweet time. However, we're gonna start feeding, and you're gonna see them coming up. So you need to be making sure to show how to call your fish. So they'll have to start coming up to start feeding, and voila, there you go. You start giving them the feeds, and once you give them the feeds, make sure you observe: are they eating or not eating? So as I can see, most of them are coming up, and I need to see if there's any traces of any dead fish floating. Uh, and so far, thanks God, haven't seen any fish which is floating dead. So meaning they had a good day. So in this type of business, aquaculture, you really have to observe your fish. I keep on saying, observing your fish is very important. Feeding them at the right time. So you just don't come and pour in food. Just make sure. Number one, you check the quality of the water. I normally smell the water as well. If I smell and get to smell the water is somehow smelling, I get to know it's time for me to change the water. Why would we have the water smelling? So as the feeds we normally feed them, they normally decompose down on the pond. So that if you don't remove that water at a certain point, then of course ammonium nitrate becomes more, and then that chokes off the gas. The oxygen for the fish. It makes the fish very unstable, and that's how oxygen demand comes down and cracks down on your fish, and your fish dies without you noticing that first. You'll be seeing dead fish, but you won't know why they're dying. So please make sure you change your water, and once you change your water, you will ensure to have growth of the fish to be of utmost quality and also time. So here we are talking about water management, quality, as well as anything else to do with your surroundings. So I'll take you back to pond number 2. Here we go again. I can see they already finished eating, so I need just to put some more food. So if you see them coming up, it means still they need to eat some more, because if they're okay, they're not hungry, uh, they will definitely not show up, not show up for for feeding. So number one as well, remember, this is it's therapeutic a little bit, I'd say. Reason because um, when you observe them feeding, um, you got a certain feeling that comes in you, and you feel like, wow, this is like watching some fish in the aquarium. So when you watch that in the aquarium, you're like, wow, you really enjoy. That's a big fish. These are small, tiny fish that you really enjoy. You can't catch them, but you feel the feeling of just staying there for long. So this is how we keep on feeding them. So I will be able like to shoot another video content for you guys at night and see how nocturnal they are, because at night they normally fill in the pond, moving from left to the right, center, and it's really a nice view to see them moving um, in the pond. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for subscribing. Whoever subscribed on my videos, please subscribe, 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 and also view, share with your friends. Let us learn something new. Every time is learning time. So thank you and have a good evening. And let's meet tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. on the feeding time when the sun is up, and see how things are. Thank you and big God bless you.